What up, gang? Hope you guys are doing good today, man. What up, what up? What's going on, guys? Just working on getting my thing working here. With some technical difficulties tonight, but hopefully I'm gonna be able to get on here real quick here. I'm in an NQ short at the moment, gang. 29058 is my entry. Yeah, I'm trying to, it's weird because like right now I can make this work and I'm trying to get it to show my screen, but it's having an issue right now. So yeah, some little bit of technical difficulties. Give me a sec, guys. Nice, Bulgy. Nice. Oh, there you go. It's showing now. All right, that's progress. So we up and going there. Let me see if my other one works here. Give me a sec, guys. I'm just trying to see if this one works. This other one's still a little wonky at the moment. My TP is quite deep in there. I mean, a safe one would probably be what you have there, Bulgy. That's probably the safest one. I'm shooting for 90 points on this versus something that's probably a little bit more manageable. Okay, so I got one of it working, but I can't get the other one to work for some reason. I'm not really too sure why. I'm gonna try one last time here. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. All right, I don't think it's gonna work. So you know what? I'm just gonna leave this as is for now. Maybe I'll toy around with it a little bit later on. What up, guys? Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys had a good weekend. What's going on, Jimmy, Renati, Soul Chef, Rasta Pasta? What's going on? Try. What's up? What's up? Eddie, Spax, Armani, Cosmos, Rye Guy, Joseph, Yacht. What is up? What is up? Odo, what up? What up? Ezo. This looks like it's gonna get stopped out here though, because we're not getting that follow through we want, Buljeet. I really wanted this kind of hold beneath the VWAP and within this channel as well, and beneath the 200 EMA, hoping to get a little bit more follow through. We obviously had a really large breakdown, and I am going to talk about this a little bit because I did manage to capture some of it earlier on in the Asia session, so I will speak to that. I was looking for a little bit more follow through on this though, which we're not really getting at the moment. What's going on, JTP? What up? What up? You guys know what to do, right? You guys know what to do with the stream. Drop them thumbs up, gang. Let's get a head start on that tonight. Let's get cracking on that, gang. Let's get cracking on that. Looks like I'm going to get stopped out here real soon, guys. Based on how that's forming. Let's see if we can really hold beneath this 200 EMA or not. Hey, Jason, what's going on? AXP, what's going on, man? What's good? What's good? Renati, you got a situation. What's the situation, man? What's the situation we got going on here, gang? You basically accidentally used. I used my credit card instead of my friends on. Vernati, honestly, I think that like if you were pretty quick on doing so and there was like no benefit from the other end, I think you should be fine. I mean, I don't know. I've never gone through that. That's pretty stressful. But I mean, yeah, I'd like to believe that if you guys were pretty quick on it and there was no, I guess, benefit on the opposing end, then I don't see why they'd make such a big deal. But yeah, I don't blame you for being a little stressed out there, man. M Star getting back into prop, huh? Lucid or Tradeify. They're both great. Lucid just started actually right now. Code RT. That's 50% off right now, man. 50% off. So I definitely recommend that. Yeah, Renati, man. You can't really stress too much about it at this point, man. You just gotta go with it, man. Just go with it for now and keep trading. Don't let those emotions get the best of you. Right? I don't think that's really important at this moment. So just do trade the chart, man. Yeah, what Mass Clutch just said, the Lucid Flex accounts are honestly the best accounts to get started with, newbie or not, just because there's just less distraction, right? Less rules. So it's definitely the better option and the better play. Am I doing the Tradeify Cup? I actually can't do the Tradeify Cup, gang. I thought I was gonna be able to because I got the email saying that I got submitted, but then when I tried to log into the account, it wouldn't let me log in actually. So it seems like I'm still technically capped out as of now. So it is what it is. All good. I wish you guys all the best though on that Tradeify Cup. It'd be pretty cool if some of you guys actually make it to the end to compete against the Outlaws, especially Mr. Jake Ricci himself. Hey, it's all good. The stop loss hit also means that our trade thesis is invalid too, right? So let it do what it's got to do. I'm going to go over the trade review in just a bit here, guys. We'll talk about the NQ and gold as I usually always do. NQ was beautiful today. I did get a chance to signal that just because it's pretty busy weekend for me here. It's actually celebrating some birthday celebrations and what have you. Not my birthday, but we have some birthday celebrations and what have you. And yeah, lots going on here. So didn't get a chance to hop on the charts as much as I would have liked to, but we had a very clean setup today actually for shorts, and we'll talk about that later on. I know some of the gang in the Discord caught it today, so that's good to see. But yeah, wish we would have been able to. Generally on stream with you guys, I usually go between like 1 to 2. Sometimes I'll rock 3, but it's rare that I do that. Just because this period of the session doesn't offer a lot of like clean setups that I personally always like to trade with. So we'll go through the review in just a bit here. Hey, Ty, what's going on, man? Gone, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. I don't think bears are completely out of the way, but as of right now, I mean, it's not the most ideal. That's why I had my stop loss there, and I'm going to respect that. We can always look, pivot, and wait for another entry later on. But NQ's short trade today was really clean, to be honest, man. Yeah, it was a really solid, clean trade today, and we can build on talking about why that is based on how we opened up how we traded last week coming into this week, all of that, right? You guys probably saw me post about it as well on Instagram. I did withdraw a TPT payout last week before the weekend there. Been taking it a little easy. I know I had a really solid run for about 2 weeks there, and just been taking it easy since then. So a lot of things balancing. I think also just kind of just role model to you guys that sometimes it's okay to just take a little bit of a break, just especially like mentally, depending on what you're dealing with and what's going on, right? Some of you guys know, obviously, I've been going through. I don't want to say going through a lot, but it's been a lot at the same time. Like I'm still living my busy day-to-day life, but whole family was been sick for like a week. Mom, same thing with my mom. You guys were I was actually on stream when you saw me take the call with the hospital. So just a lot going on. So for me, it's like mentally, I'm a little drained, which is why I'm playing it a little bit safe in regards to how I'm going about my trades over the course of these past week. So still not too shabby. Been able to take on a payout last week. I mean, the way I look is that if you can even take any kind of payout once or twice a week here or so, makes all the difference, man. Like I said, whether you're doing this as a career or whether you're doing this as a side cash, either way, I think there's some value in doing so, right? So, and JTP just asking the question there, if I take a loss like this, do I just treat the same account? Yeah, I'm okay with two. Sometimes I'll flip right away. Like if depending on how many accounts I have, I'm like, you know what, let's just keep cycling through. I'll stop and I'll switch accounts. But definitely if I take 2 losses on the account, then that account essentially gets shut down for the night. I don't touch that one after that. Oh man, sorry to hear that you had that tilt moment today, Lil Melty. What up, Eldred? Yeah, we had a pretty smooth, strong move early. So, I mean, right now, as we lead into the London Open, it's not too surprising that we get a little bit more ranging and indecision here. Yay, SPACs. Right on, man. Hopefully you're able to get that to the end. Yeah, Ty, all's all good, man. All's all good. We just family, wife, kids, everyone got sick, and it was like pretty bad too for all of them. Like we had to go like hospitals and walk-in clinics and all that type of stuff. And so obviously I'm still having to manage my day-to-day life while making sure we take care of the family. And then yeah, mom had pneumonia apparently, so she was in the hospital for like a week. So she just got discharged actually 2 days ago. So yeah, just a lot. I think I would say that considering that my everyday life is already pretty crazy because like I average like 12-hour days pretty much on the entrepreneurial side and the coaching side of things, right? And then trading on top of that is obviously just extra. So when everyone else is sick, definitely not as ideal. Not as ideal. Thanks, man. Thanks. Okay, I am gonna grab a little bit of a refill of my water here, and then I'm gonna get started with the gang. Okay, and like I said, man, I mean, with all you guys on right now, I always say the same thing every stream, but no reason why we can't crack 200 thumbs up within the first half an hour, guys. Especially with the viewers early on. But I'll be right back. All right, gang. All right, gang. Just so you guys know, the account that I'll be giving away today is gonna be a Tradeify account, actually, in paying tribute to the Grand Cup. Just because I can't trade the Grand Cup doesn't mean you guys can't, right? So we'll be honoring that today by providing a 50K Tradeify growth account today as the giveaway. What's going on, big boy? What's going on? Still recovering from the week, man, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm always the guy that says half cup full in life, man. I don't let anything beat me down too much, but it's been an exhausting couple weeks for sure. I'm gonna leave a couple texts here just as so as people are kind of rolling into the stream, you guys will kind of know what to expect. Tradeify growth account honoring the Tradeify Cup. Let's get there. Up 17K. I mean, very possible, man. I mean, we had a pretty strong move today. We had a pretty strong move on the NQ. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense, man. Hey, nice. Nice work, Ben. Attaboy. If this short follows through now after I got stopped out, I mean, that's just kind of the trick of the trade here, right? Can't really get too upset. Me personally, I had my stop loss there for a reason, and honestly, if there was another entry, I would have wanted to see us maybe like tag the upper channel one more time. So if this ends up following through, you just kind of have to be patient about it, man. It sucks sometimes that trades work out that way, but it is what it is. Paul G, hop back into your shorts. All right, all right. Make sure you manage your risk today, man. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that actually a little bit later on, Lil Melty. I'll dive into it in a bit here. I know as you guys are kind of rolling in here. So before I get started with the trade review, guys, welcome to Project 365. I think we're going on week number 6 now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it should be number 6. So good to have you guys all here. We as a group collectively stream about 10 hours a day at least. We do this basically 5 to 6 days a week. So we are here to kind of just share with you guys our trading, and a lot of us were basically we've started with Jake Ricci, with as a lot of our foundation. Many of us have obviously evolved their trading in so many different ways, but we're hoping that it also adds as a nice diversity to a lot of you guys, because I think there's many of you guys out there that are long-term traders, scalpers, swing traders, options traders, and you name it. And I think there's a lot that can be taken away from having our discussions here. For those who are streaming into this specific part of the stream for the first time, I do have the pre-London session, which also means that I have the most time to chat with you guys, because the sessions generally are a little slower, which means that it gives me an opportunity more to answer the questions as they come through with the gang. With that said, I am going to dive right into the trade setups from our overall chart, going through our analysis and review, and kind of just chatting about how that kind of played out, talking a little bit about the New York session that we had, as I usually always do, but also talking about the very sweet setup that we actually had on the NQ at the open today. And it was pretty solid. I know that a couple of my students was able to capitalize on that. Some in the chat here already. So we'll dive right into this. So talking about the gold trade first and foremost. So as of right now, you know what? Actually, I should probably copy and trade some of this, paste these texts over, just so it's always there. So if you guys haven't dropped a thumbs up yet, guys, let's do that. So let's talk about gold here. So we had a solid breakdown on gold. Now, you've been following the stream. I've been talking about this GC short setup for quite some time. We finally broke out of that daily range on Friday there, and we just had a nice melt off coming into the New York session. And now coming to the New York session, you basically, if you didn't catch the bigger swings off key levels, you may have gone potentially chopped up in the consolidation later on in the day. But off the NQ, sorry, not off the NQ, sorry, off the New York Open, we did come down and we had a nice short move down. The way that we were able to hold the level, like we did break beneath it, but we reclaimed the level quite soon after that. We had a pretty solid 15-minute close, giving us that potential reversal on the intraday session itself, which was what kind of gave us the move back up. You can see that we never really broke past this, at least not cleanly anyway speaking. The 4, 5, 6, 7 ended up becoming a level that we held beneath. And if you could have just used that alone, you would have been able to capture a few different short trades, whether you want to scalp it or hold it for a bigger move. Either way, we had a good opportunity on gold to do that. Now, coming into today, we had very similar, where, again, I think this might be a little bit of a deja vu for some of you guys now, because I've been referencing this a lot, right? Off the open today, we tried to break above the highs that we were forming, but we couldn't even do that. We essentially respected the lower high off of the New York session. We created a double top on gold, and from there on out, once we reclaimed back beneath Globex, assuming you didn't trade the double top, this was a very nice short trade to the downside. As you can see on gold here, using the Globex as your point of reference, the full move on the overall day was about a 58-point trade to the downside, and on gold, that is massive. Now, as always, we talk, those are trade opportunities. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the trade you would have taken, because I don't know if anyone would have held that long, right? So I think that even just respectfully thinking about this perspective, right? Like you had a solid 3R trade set up from Globex to level, which offered, a clean move. If you want to use my AOI at 4502, which again, these AOI should be fairly familiar with you guys now because I haven't really actually adjusted them much as of these past couple weeks. Even that would have offered a solid 6R trade. So either way, 3R, 6R, had you been able to take the respect of the Globex rejection or the hold beneath Globex, you would have offered a nice short trade to the downside. And again, you guys know I have been bearish at my bias, so that trade was solid overall in that regard. The VWAP one later on was a little aggressive. I don't know if anyone would have caught this unless you were trading on the 1 minute time frame. But otherwise, though, that would have been the cleanest trade in my personal opinion. Other one we could have taken, of course, using that same AOI is the way that we were using this as a potential higher low. This one I probably wouldn't have taken, though, to be perfectly honest. A, because we're below VWAP, and also because I am bearish on gold, so it's hard for me to have wanted to do that. Sounds, oh, I see it in the chat too. Nice job, Bulgy. I'm glad you caught that dub there on that NQ short. So that's kind of gold right now. And now you can see here that we're creeping back up into the Asia high of day. I'm kind of looking for us to hold beneath 4553 here. Maybe potentially we might be able to take a short trade again here, but as of right now, the way that GC is setting up, I'm not really ecstatic to take any trade on it. I don't feel good taking longs for sure at this point in time. And I'm bearish, but I don't see a nice entry for bears either. So for now, I'm gonna hold off on gold, and I'm not gonna touch that all too much. Going on the NQ though, this is the one I really do want to talk about because this was very clean, and we've been talking about the fact that NQ is kind of due for some sort of pullback. We're not looking for a big meltdown, but when you have this large of a mood, the pullbacks are going to feel like they're big moves, right? And so it's natural to feel that way. You can kind of see here over the session that we had on Thursday going into Friday, we had this channel on the NQ. Now we've talked about this, right? We talked about the NQ short trade. We were all able to capitalize on that on stream as well, right? And I mentioned that, this double bottom was another great opportunity as well. And although I wasn't able to take this because I was quite caught up in the chat and caught up with providing the analysis, I think some of you guys were able to capture that long trade. We had that 100-point move to the upside with that double bottom, right? Which was a solid trade on the NQ using the reference point that we had on here for the past couple weeks here. And then that same channel that we referenced earlier on in that session ended up becoming the key resistance as we held beneath the level and the channel. And that offered a nice, as we see level to level, channel to channel, move to the downside. So anyone who caught this later on, this was pretty much after we had closed our session together. But if you had caught this move, though, it would have been a very solid trade to the downside. Again, level to level thought process here. You would have had a 4R trade to the downside, about 183 points. And that is quite to scream home about, right? So solid trade there. Going into the New York session, it was a little tricky. Definitely some ranging action in the early parts of it. And you can kind of see here that channel, with the other channel that was lower beneath it, we've had this marked here for quite a while as well as the one beneath this, which we'll talk about in a bit. But we formed a double bottom here. Whether you shorted the double top or long the double bottom, there were some 1R, 2R opportunity there for us to take. But then overall in the day, though, the cleanest setup, which happened much later on. I mean, if you didn't tag the retest here at 854 of the level here with a kind of like a resistance flip support, then the other one over here at the New York opening print would have been the one to take. And this was around 9:54 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is a nice kind of like resistance flip support using the New York opening print. You can honestly also look at this as an orb strategy trade where you're a break and retest of the orb, and that offered a nice long opportunity to the upside. As you can kind of see here, entry point all the way up to the level, about 158 points, or the channel was about 100 some points there. Okay. So that was kind of the New York session. And then again, that same level channel area later on ended up becoming the area for us to short. And so I did catch this short. I think I posted this on Instagram. I think it was. But this was the lower high short that I did take on the NQ. And this contributed to my payout that I took on my Take Profit Trader Pro. Because I had shorted gold the night before on stream with you guys. Wait, no, sorry, that one was off stream. That was right off stream because that was right after we had hopped off. That was a 15-point short trade on gold on one contract, which was about 1,500 points. And then we did the same thing again here on NQ with the lower high around that time. And I was able to capture a 3 mini short trade to the downside. And I am going to touch on this a little bit more later on because one of the common questions that you guys have been asking a lot of me is like journaling. So I will go through my trader stats actually a little bit later on for that Friday, just to kind of go over, hopefully to give you a little bit of examples around it. I did post about it as well on my own personal YouTube, just because I know people have been asking about that more and more, but I'll cover that off for those who haven't seen it. So I'll go over that on stream with you guys today. But anyways, I'll touch on that a little bit. So touching about the NQ trade for the session though, this was beautiful, right? We basically came up, we opened up strong, right? Basically holding that the low of day on New York right before the open there, or before the close of sorry. And when we pushed up, we had a nice 200 EMA rejection and a the New York opening from Friday rejection. So if you caught the short there, that was a nice 1, 2, 3R depending on your risk trade. But the one that came really after that was the double top. Sorry, we double topped again using the same 200 EMA, New York opening print, right? That would have been a really nice entry. And if you missed that double top, just for out of safety and security net, that level rejection here was clean. We had VWAP and we had the level and we had the same channel that we've been talking about for a while now, being the point of reference. So we had multiple reasons to take the short trade. And so this is the one that I took as well earlier. And I risked about 31 and a half points, give or take, right? And caught that move down. Oops. Didn't mean to move the whole thing. Caught that move down for about 90 points here towards Globex. And so obviously the trade did end up moving much further than that. As you can see here, we ended up piercing right through, tagging the channel beneath here at the bottom. We had a quick kind of a relief back to the upside. But as you can see here, we held that channel. We held Globex as a lower high continuation back to the downside, and then tagging this next channel, which we've been holding well for longs. So whether you scalped longs to the upside or you were able to catch this move from the channel up towards VWAP, either way, presented some good opportunity for longs. Easily 2R would have been very respectable. 1R as well. I mean, depending on how much risk you're willing to put on. And so now that brings us back to here. And so this is what I mean by I feel like we're just ranging here. We're not really getting a lot of follow through here. So would I be willing to scalp shorts? This is where like, I know 1R trades are not really sexy, but you probably could scalp 1R, maybe even 2R to be honest, based on the way that it's moving right now, back and forth until we get some decision on the marketplace, right? But yeah, all in all, I mean, I think that for me, that double top was a beautiful short trade. If you missed the double top, the lower high short trade was a nice one to have. And then the next lower high beneath Globex was the next one. And as I talk about the channel, right, and now some of you guys who are just tuning in now are probably a little bit more like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's my first time hopping in here. I have channels where I mark off on the larger time frames, but I also have channels where I will mark up on smaller time frames just for the sole purpose of providing you guys a little bit of understanding of the visual structure. Because for many of you guys don't really know how to view structure. So I just draw it out just so there's some sort of visual aid for you guys. And that's essentially why I do what I do there. Now, this channel isn't a surprise one. We've used this channel before. If you guys remembered on this, this was on the May the 8th. I know it was quite some time ago, but we had referenced this actually channel before. And so this was that long break and retest on the New York Open spot that basically launched us. And this was when we broke all-time highs again on this day. So this channel has been on the chart for a little while. It also offered here, if you guys remember, and some of you guys might remember this because, again, you've been hopping on all streams, so you'll recognize it. But we also saw this as a beautiful lower high short trade on that New York session on May the 12th, which is Tuesday, in the same way that it also acted as a nice support for us to take longs that same day as well. And so since then, we haven't really come back down there. So as we've come back down there now, to see that we are supporting it once again, it just shows you that the price is not just a random spot. Like it's a spot of interest for a lot of us, right? So hopefully you guys keep taking note of some of these things that I'm pointing out, because even though, yes, as I always say, even though we're not trading them, because sometimes they may not be heading in that direction just yet during my stream, but it does end up presenting us opportunities in the later streams as well. So just something that I hope you guys are paying attention to, and hopefully you guys are taking value in it as well, right? So again, as I've been talking, I know more and more of you guys have kind of rolled into the stream. Welcome to Project 365. Guys, we have about 218 you guys viewing right now, and we only have 93 thumbs up. I mean, we want to do a giveaway with the gang, right? So for all you guys right now who haven't dropped a thumbs up yet, man, you get, this is a 50K Tradeify growth account that I'm looking to give away to the gang. So definitely drop some thumbs up, man. We appreciate it. Just gonna catch up with the chat a little bit here. What up, what up? What's going on, Serpent? What time frames and futures do you trade? I trade NQ and gold primarily, Jason. I basically look at all the time frames. 2, 5, 15 primarily is what I'm looking at on the every day. And then otherwise, I'm looking at the larger time frames like hourly, dailies, and weeklies. Yeah, so yeah, anyways, that's just kind of what I look at. Oil might be pushing up. Haven't looked at oil. I'm bullish on NQ still. I mean, it's hard to ignore the pullback that we're experiencing right now. I mean, if you take a look at the larger time frames, it was quite a bit of a pullback here, and that's coming out of the daily bearish bar that we had prior day on Friday as well. Do we have more room to the downside for a pullback? Yeah, I mean there is, to be honest. I mean, we've had a pretty reckless run to the upside, but overall chart, I'm bullish, but I'm prepared more than ever to take a bearish take on the short-term interval of the NQ. Call me crazy. I'm bullish up to 150 on NQ, up to 150. Yeah, I mean, that's up to about Globex area, so I can see that. Shorted gold for 1 hour when it came back to gold's daily open and price, open close, entries to gold been great lately. Yeah, learning, it's 100%. I mean, the opening prints are very valuable in with all asset classes, I find. So love ya. Hello, hello. Tiago, what's up, man? Johanna, hello, hello. Jason, indicators wise, so I like to use the 200 EMA and 9 EMA kind of more than anything. I have the 20 and the 50 on there as well, but I just have it on there as more of a kind of like a point of reference more than anything. And then otherwise VWAP. The VWAP is like the other one that I would primarily look at. Outside of that, those are like the more like defaulted ones that everyone can take advantage of because it's free on TradingView and what have you. The other one that I also reference and I bring it up once in a while is the FF indicator. That's more of a private developed one, not developed by me, but it is not one that's free. That's on TradingView. But that's another one that I also use for additional confluence when I'm looking for trade setups. Belima, wish I can read the market like how you can. I tried to watch you all the time to grasp review of the market, so hopefully I can start reading it like you about TikToks. Hey man, it takes time, man. You know, I know that the perception on social space is that it's easy to make money on the market. And what is that word? It is the most simplest yet hardest thing to do. It's simple in a sense that you're clicking buttons on a chart and following some very, call it basic or mundane rules or strategies. But where it becomes very difficult is that our human emotion just tends to take over. And that's the reason why we struggle to execute on the market, right? And so it's one thing to read the market. It's another thing to be able to consistently execute on the market. And so, you know, I think what you guys will see is that what looks easy, you know, and I say this in business a lot too, but what maybe looks easy at glimpse and sight is actually years of hardship and losses and emotional turmoil that gets us to where we are now. For us to be as numb as we are on the market, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, if you, in the rare case that you are that rare individual, maybe, but it's not easy, man. I mean, in business, it's the same thing. I walk into restaurant industries and I can provide analysis, like a full-on geography, business landscape analysis, financial forecast, financial auditing, operational efficiency analytics. I could do all of that, and I could do it very quickly too, to be honest. And most people will look at my job and say, hey, like, must be great to do your job. You make it look so easy. But what they don't realize is that all of that experience that is unfolding in front of the entrepreneur's eyes, that's 20 some years of restaurant experience in the making. So what looks very simple, people underestimate the grind that got there. And I think that's probably relevant in all aspects of life. I'm sure you guys probably have gone through it yourselves, and you guys have felt the same in some way or manner about something. But that's essentially what that is too, right? It's like, for me, when I'm sharing this, it might looks easy, but it is just a lot of pain on the market. So anyways, whoever's listening to that, whoever's watching that, hopefully that adds a little bit of value and insight for yourselves. Waiting for a retest of Asia open for short. Eldred. Yeah, man, I think that's very valid. I made that comment earlier too. I would like to see us come up there and maybe put a nice harsh fail to go higher up there, and then I'd be open to taking maybe like a 2 hour short or something like that. I'd be open to that. So we'll wait for now. We'll wait. For NQ, short bias is 10-year treasury is a lot. Makes me thinking a lot further slide for NQ. Yeah, I mean, I don't have an edge when it comes to reading that type of data and news, so I can't, I can only speculate, Yacht. I mean, maybe, yeah, we'll see. I'm curious what your thought points is too. Like, where do you want to see the NQ before we continue higher again, right? Hey, Nikita, the Globex is when the market opens for futures. And so for Pacific Standard Time, that's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just locked in another 30 points on a long as I attempted to trade the range. Beautiful, Baljeet, beautiful. Let's be patient now. I know you're probably already trying to anticipate the next short. Just be patient. You got 2 wins back to back in a span of 15 minutes here, Baljeet. So play it safe, my man. In trading, if you are unable to control your emotions, then you will be unable to be a profitable trader. It's true. It's true. What Vibe said there is 100% true. And that's really because of the fact that just because you could make a lot of money doesn't mean you will be able to hang on to that money. I've seen so many boom and bust cycles. If you think that having a boom and bust cycle on a prop firm is painful, imagine doing that with your own hard-earned cash. Because I've done that before. And that's like the pain that I'm talking about, guys. Like when I traded options, I've watched me build a $5,000 options account all the way to $30,000 over the course of, I don't know, 3 to 4 months, just to wipe it out completely. Well, not completely. Let me take that back. Wipe out half of all those profits in a span of like 3 days. So just put that into perspective, right? 3 to 4 months of work wiped out in 3 days, right? Like it's that, again, that was, for me, that felt like a lifetime ago when that happened, but those things happen and it's painful. But it's also what has built the resilience for us, the more experienced traders today. And I know, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm super experienced, because those are people in the market who've been doing this for 4 times longer than I have, right? But what I can say is that the market will always find a way to humble you. So if you don't have a means of having a proper risk management, a good sense of psychology and discipline, then yeah, you know, you're in some way or form, you're almost kind of one trade away from tilting everything you've earned, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Like, this is not, I actually say this in career and in business a lot, and I'll say it in trading. It's not a marathon. Sorry, it's not a race. It's a marathon, right? It's not about how fast you get there. It's about how long you can last in the end of the day. And the career aspect, I used to say that all the time for people who are trying to aspire to be like a, you know, like mid-management, director level, and all those kind of things. I always used to say is that, like, you know, don't worry about the person that got promoted before you, because in the end of the day, if you could build the right foundations and you know, evolve as a person in the right ways, you will make it to wherever you need to make it, regardless of whether a person got promoted first. And I kind of talked about that briefly on a, like maybe like 10, 20 streams ago. But that was like literally the story of my life. You know, I had people in my life that got promoted before me in their careers. And I was like thinking to myself, like, oh man, I'm never going to make it. This is so demoralizing. And next thing you know it, half of them had left the company because they couldn't survive. And then the other half stayed where they were. Whereas me, I ended up becoming their boss late, like but just a couple years later on. And what I'm trying to essentially say here to you guys is that, like, this path is not linear, right? It takes time. There's a lot of ebb and flows, and you just got to be patient with the process. And maybe as part of the learning is that you realize that you don't have the patience for this game. And if that's the case, there's no shame in that either. So it's just me just sharing a little bit of that. I'm hoping that it adds a little bit of value to the insights for you guys. And I just realized as I'm talking, I'm like, oh, I can't get my banner to work right now, so I do want to put it here just so that you guys know what the deals are right now. 50% off Lucid. Is 50% off with... Nope, Take Profit Trader. Well, that one's gone now. 40% off Tradeify, 47% off funded next, I think right now. Those are like probably the main ones that I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm just going to leave that there. Code break or RT. I'll leave that there just because I don't have my banner up top. No idea what happened to it. Just going to catch up in the chat here, guys. I see there's 257 of you guys now. Welcome, by the way. I know some of you guys have been rolling in while I've been giving my my thought points in psychology. Just for those who don't know, who are streaming in here for the first time, although I am a trader and I've had good years behind my back, I don't identify myself as just simply a strong retail trader. I am a business professional at heart. It's the core of who I am. So I do a lot of work around business consulting, restaurant entrepreneurship, coaching in the entrepreneur world and in trading. So I'm quite a well-rounded person. So as you guys are kind of hopping on the stream, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask those questions as well. Just catching up with the chat here. Yes, mass clutch. It hurts, man. It hurt. You may look easy if you should. I just want to understand the whole market movement and all the points of interest, but really appreciate what you're seeing. Thanks, William. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, just to keep tuning in, man. There's a lot of value to be added here. Thanks, Sabrian. Sabrian or Sobrian. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name. I appreciate it. Do you primarily trade the session or New York is your primary session? Do you think there's any money to be made in Asia and London on NQ? So Archan Patel, I assume this is your first time tuning into my stream since you're asking that question. My massive high six-figure year last year was actually traded north of 90% of the time over the Asia-London session. So I actually don't trade the New York session much on futures. I used to only trade options. So I would do my futures trading over Asia and London, and then I would trade options during New York session. So that's kind of what I've been balancing. I think Asia and London has been an underrated session. Like I would say when most people were not talking about Asia, that was where I predominantly excelled in the most. And that's where I think that my trading in that arena caught the eyes of a lot of people who were from the UK, from Asia, because for their time zone, the Asia market may have made more sense for them, right? So I think there's plenty of money to be had. I actually think that price develops well over Asia and London. You just have to have patience because it's a little bit slower. But as a person who's trying to learn, again, maybe not everyone agrees, but I think it's actually easier to learn how to trade during Asia. Be patient, learn price action, read price action, right? And then if you've got the confidence later on to execute in New York, you can totally hop on over there after the fact, right? Once you've got it. New York gives you the dopamine and adrenaline rush a lot faster, but that also means in the same reflection of that, you will also feel the tilting emotions and the degeneracy will hit you a lot harder and a lot faster as well. But that's my kind of 2 cents on that, Archon. Sorry, I just like went down way too fast there. Nikita, yeah. So again, you'll take a look at it in different time frames for me. I'll have different things set up, like indicators on some indicators, not so much. I always just leave it there because they become an additional conviction. Just note for many of you guys who are tuning in for the first time, indicators do not drive my trading. It is there for conviction. That's all it is. In the end of the day, I put a heavy emphasis. And for those who are new, who don't know how I trade, I put a heavy emphasis on multi-time frame analysis, bar by bar analysis. Like I'm like anyone who's worked with me or works with me, I'm super surgical about bar by bar, like unbelievably. And market structure is important to me. I can trade the trend and the range. Buljeet earlier is actually one of my students, and she even mentioned she traded the range twice there and got her piece of the pie, and she's kind of like stepping away for a bit here, right? And that's just giving an example of that. I have technical chart patterns that I like that more primarily. So anyways, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but those are just kind of a few list of things that I really value when I'm trading. So anyways, yeah, indicators are there, but they don't drive my trades. When you share your profits in a month, it amazes me how you basically usually have like 1 or 2 losing days. Do you contribute that to cutting losses quick, or more so that you trade multiple accounts? JTP, I think that's a really great question here. I'm actually gonna like, where's my notepad? I like completely misplaced my notepad here. Sorry guys. I usually take notes for myself as well because I always want to make sure that I can like share what I can on these streams to the best of my ability. I'm just gonna take this note down so I don't forget. That's a good question that I think that we can chat on. So, to the question that JTP asked here, when you share your profits in a month, it amazes me how you basically usually have like 1 or 2 losing days. Do you contribute that to cutting losses quick, or more do you that trade multiple counts? And my answer is to both of those. Okay. And so the first thing I'll talk about in terms of multiple accounts, having multiple accounts for me, although can be a devil's advocate here in a sense of where it might force you to take trades that don't exist because you feel the need to trade all of them, which for me, I've got that discipline now down pretty well. But where the rotation helps for me is that whenever I take a loss or 2 losses on a trade, I can, with a fresh mind, flip over to another account, because now when I flip over to a new account, it's a fresh drawdown. I'm not thinking about that I have to make back the money I had just lost. So it plays a role for me to be able to keep my mental stability when it comes to trading, which is also why I don't copy trade personally. It just doesn't really work too well for me. But then on the other note about accepting losses, absolutely, I respect my stop losses. I don't DCA, so I don't dollar cost average into a losing trade. I don't keep moving my stop loss further and further away as the trade goes against me. All those things are driven by emotions, and they're not logical, right? When I place a stop loss, I place it there because I believe that my thesis is broken if I get hit there. That's why I put it there. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for me to keep moving it over and over and over again, right? Like that's you just not accepting your loss. So I think both of those things actually play hand in hand with my survival rate. Like, forget my win rate, it has played a role in my survival rate in the periods of time, which is the reason why. And JTP's been following my journey for quite some time. Um, he knows that's the reason why I don't have losing days often. I do have losing trades all the time. Like, it happens all the time, but I just bounce back from them better because of the fact that the way that I've formulated how I juggle my accounts and all of that, right? Um, Abraham, I was in a short trade earlier. I could have taken 1R, but I was looking for like 3R on that trade. We just didn't get follow through. That's when we start to range here. So I got stopped out on that one, Abraham. See, Nikita actually brought a really good point, right? Very used to having a high win rate. So when he or she, again, I don't know if you're a guy or girl, but when Nikita was wrong, it was hard for Nikita to accept that he was wrong, right? And so that basically caused the tilting, which is totally true. Best of luck. I'm good to see. Take it easy, Doom Lord. Is TPT still working right now? Okay, I thought their deal was supposed to end tonight. Like, it was like midnight Eastern time. So if TPT is still working for 50% off, I will put it in here. Thanks for letting me know. The TPT one's a killer deal, and those who know, I trade with TPT a lot, so I like their daily withdrawal. Makes me happy. Thanks, Jeff Trades. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the subscribe, man. Jimmy, just so you know, I'm not Rake. This might be your first time. I'm Alan, Azheng Trades. I'm one of the hosts of Project 365. But just want to make sure you knew that. I'm sure you could probably tell from the image from YouTube, I'm not that guy. As much as I like to say that I'm a banana, I'm very much still Asian on the outside. But in terms of my screens, I have quite a bit, but I don't think you need as many screens as I do. I personally think that, like, if you have like a solid 32, maybe 36-inch monitor, like, it probably does enough for you. Or maybe if you have 227s, anything more than that, I don't think is really necessary. So I have a lot of screens because as an entrepreneur, I call my setup here the command center. So I have like a 40-some inch Actually, this is like basically a 50-inch TV here. Is it 50? No, I think it's like 42-inch TV here. I have a 27-inch vertical monitor. I have a 49-inch widescreen above and a 32-inch widescreen beneath. Now, I have all those screens because I'm often juggling virtual calls, meetings. I'm going through business analytics while I'm trading at the same time, and all that stuff. That's why I actually have all the things that I have up here. Just so you don't need it. Although I love my command center, it's totally not needed though. Oh, thanks, Bernardi. I just realized you answered the question for me too. And Mass Clutch, you agree with me? Asia's killer, man. No need to apologize, Jimmy. No need to apologize, man. Yes, Brian. Yeah, you get it. New York's fast, right? So it's a little tough. How do you install Rake's level system? Uh, Jake Trades MFFU. What do you mean by install? Do you have the levels automated indicator? Is that what you're asking? How do I get better with level reaction? I would say level reaction, MobX, really goes hand in hand with the stuff that I mentioned earlier in my strategy, which is like multi-time frame analysis and bar by bar. I think that plays a big component in that. Hope I'll cheat. You're at it again. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Yes, Jason, don't copy trade. Giveaway. Are we at 200 already? Nope. Dude, there's like 300 you guys on right now, and I have 138 thumbs up. We need 200 thumbs up to do that giveaway, gang. Some of you guys are holding out on those thumbs up. I'm not asking for a lot, guys. These thumbs up help a lot because it helps us build awareness on the stream so that more and more people can like learn about us. So looking forward to that. And for those who are wondering why I haven't taken a trade, like I don't know if you guys noticed, but we've just been ranging. There's no trade to take. If you want to scalp the 1Rs, you can. Right now, I'm just looking at this. I'm like, okay, do I value taking a 1R scalp right now, or would I rather kind of educate and connect with you guys? Because you guys have a lot of questions, and I want to do my best to help you guys, right? So Brian, yeah, I do have my own YouTube channel. I don't post on it as much these days just because I primarily focus on streaming here. But I'll post it there just so that you could just look at the archives. I think there's a lot of old content there for you guys to look into. I always recommend checking out my MNQ series just because I'm showing you what you can accomplish with small size without having to be a degen and rock heavy minis. Not having to worry about theta. Yeah, Epic Tito. Options can be really tough, but I mean, like, honestly, I don't recommend options to people unless you're truly experienced and passionate. Again, it's just my 2 cents. I mean, you can take it for what you will. I used to trade options a lot. I still dabble in it here and there, but it's just that when you lose, it can really get to you, especially when you're in ranging markets, right? But yeah, the R multiple on options is insane though. Like you get like to be able to make like 500, 1,000, 2,000% on a trade in a day is insane, right? But yeah, I don't know. Just tread lightly if you want to trade options. This is my 2 cents. How does one develop a conviction when it comes to trading with indicators? Like there's so many. What purpose do they fill, and what main ones do you use? How do you use them? So Defy the Gods. By the way, you have a really epic name. By the way, I just want to note that first. So I'll answer that question. So in terms of how to use, I mean, I think there's a lot to unpack on that question. The one thing that I will say is, do you understand what your indicator even means? I think a lot of cases I talk to people and I'd be like, hey, they'd be like, well, I like to use the 90 EMA. I like to use the VWAP. And I would ask them, like, do you know what the VWAP represents? Do you understand what data is feeding into that indicator for it to show you what it's showing you? And most of the time people don't know. They're just like, I don't know. It's just a line that seems to be respected. And so I think that one of the best advice I can give you on that is that if you really want to understand how to use the indicator, you must first understand what it even means. You need to understand what contributes, what data contributes to that indicator. And once you understand that, that's where the backtesting, the journaling, and all that comes in to help you understand what your probability is in using said that, right? Some people like to use primarily the VWAP to long and short. Some people like to ride the 9 EMA as a form of riding a trend. It's completely up to you and your style of trading. There is no one silver bullet. To be perfectly honest, I know everyone's always looking for the golden strategy. The golden strategy doesn't exist, right? There is no golden strategy. There is just you and the chart and your discipline to execute. So that would be my kind of 2 cents on that. I mean, I could probably talk for hours explaining why each indicator works in the way that they do. But I don't think that would be the best use of the time here. So I'm hoping that helps you a little bit, Defy the Gods, in terms of your question there. It confused me when I saw you on this channel because I know you from your recaps you do on your own. Oh, yeah, I know. I still do post stuff there here and there, but I mean, if you're looking for a live stream, I don't live stream on my personal channel. This is pretty much it for me. Yeah, Vernatty, that's right. a trade now. I lost 209 with Nasdaq as well, and my account is now 950 cents. Do you recommend to continue trading in order to increase the account? I do not know what to do. Nancy, I think that is a very loaded question, and I only say that because although people might think that it's very like, oh, it's a very simple question to answer, it's actually not as simple as it sounds. There are so many nuances behind a trade that I think you need to understand in your psychology whether or not it makes sense to continue. Like a lot of people have rules around like whether you should stop after 2 trades or not. So the way I look at Nancy is like if an opportunity presents itself, yeah, take it. But if you're like, if you don't see anything, don't force a trade just because you're trying to make money back. In the same regard that if you've already hit maximum loss today, you should probably stop because, again, mindset of abundance. There will be other days to trade, so I don't think you should get too caught up in that one. Yo, Cambo, what's going on? New darkness. Oh yeah, I mean that's possible. I can't do anything to stop that either. I mean, technically speaking, we don't want to give away accounts to the same people either. So, gold is approaching a level. How long ago was that? Yeah, we got that. That was a nice little bit of a reject there. That was the 4553 spot that I had mentioned earlier on, if you guys remember. Nice little push down. That was nice. What was that? What was that worth? $8 points, give or take. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Can you look at gold? Yeah, what do you guys want to look at gold? How do you find those levels for Globex and NQ? I used Globex is like, I've been using Globex probably for longer than most people haven't even been talking about it. Globex is my bae, man. I reference that a lot when I trade. Do I take 1 hour trades a lot? Depends on the day. Some days I do, some days I don't. I think if you talk about frequency, it's natural that there will be more 1 hour trades than 3 hour trades because naturally you're trading more frequently if you're only taking 1 hour. Whereas if you're holding for a 3 hour trade, you're probably one and done for the most part. What up, Adam? What color is my Bugatti? I'm sorry, but when you ask that question, I can't help but think of Andrew Tate. That's too funny. Hey, Kelso, I've heard of that PO3. I've seen that quite a few times. I know a lot of prop firm hosts actually talk about that quite often. I don't really know that strategy personally all to myself, but man, if that works for you, man, 100%. Just consistently execute on that, right? Do I trade the New York session? I answered that question actually a little bit earlier on. I'd only trade options. I don't trade futures on New York. Not so much anyways. How do you set up your Globex? No, not at all, Ty. That's the opening print of futures. It's basically 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I did watch MM. I had a question from MM. When we draw levels, Rick always has to extend hours off, right? So Invisible, I can't speak to that too much on stream. That is the MM sauce. It's not something for me to talk publicly on stream. It's not my sauce to give, to be honest, right? So if anyone who's interested in talking about that, you can absolutely obviously hop on the Discord. I mean, honestly, for a monthly sub to get access to the mastermind, I mean, I think that's a pretty solid deal. So I'll leave the link there for anyone who's never seen that. Invisible Ninja, honestly, if you want to chat, we can always chat in the Discord on those. I just don't want to, I don't think it's fair for me to talk about that type of stuff on stream. So I'm glad you understand. Are you bearish on right now on NQ or bullish? Let's go back to the NQ chart. What are we looking at? Well, I've been wanting more of a pull down, which it looks like we're about to get, but we're just kind of ranging. So I do think that we come back down and tag the low here, or maybe even melt off the low. I do think that we have the opportunity to get there. I just don't know if we're going to get that right now. So 11 o'clock hours opening up right now. I do want to do this giveaway with you guys, gang. No reason why we can't crack 200, gang. Just saying. We're so close. So Defy the Gods, I actually don't like to do that too much. I don't want to speculate. I can't tell you if we're going to be bullish or bearish. I have no idea where price is going to move in the next hour. Like, we're not even there yet, right? Like, we have an hour left before price even moves in either direction. So depending on where we are in an hour, sure, maybe. We'll see. Made 20K in place, likely most on little intuition. Do you value that at all? So Jonathan Stonks, to that question, I'll give you this is my perspective on intuition. And I say this actually in the business world as well. a lot of times what people call intuition and gut is basically pattern recognition that cannot be described. That's essentially what it is, right? Like you may have seen a certain setup or you've seen price move a certain way so many times, and you just know this something in your gut is saying this is it, this is it, but you just can't articulate it, right? So how much value do I put in intuition? I mean, I technically speaking, I will say high value because I know my intuition speaks to my repetition on the market. But the thing about that intuition is that I'm able to articulate that intuition though. So although I can say, yes, I value intuition because it works for me. However, I would not tell people that I would throw all my eggs into intuition, because for a lot of people, intuition is still gambling because they don't actually know what they're doing and how sustainable that can be. And the thing that I would say that the risk in intuition is that it can be ruled by emotion as well. And again, I always draw the correlation to business. I find that sometimes entrepreneurs, even with great instincts and great intuition and business decision, if they're in the height of emotion, they can sometimes make the wrong decision because again, their intuition is being in disarray because of the emotion that came with everything, right? So that, I know, a long-winded answer, Jonathan, but that would be my answer to that one. Do you trade? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know what you mean by that question. If you're asking why I'm not hopping into a trade right now, I mean, it doesn't really make sense for me to hop into something right now, especially if I'm still chatting with you guys. But there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, I have the forecaster up here for a reason. I think that one of the students here already, Baljeet, she's already hopped into like 3 trades now, I think. Just trading this range, which she's killing it. So good for her. Yeah. Regarding trading, what do you think is the best and worst thing you have done for trading? That's too broad of a question, Jolo. I talked about earlier about how I've been able to, how lost that much money after spending so much time making it. So, I mean, I think that's pretty bad. I can't really pinpoint the worst at this very moment in time. What's the best I've ever done? I mean, that's also kind of hard to describe. I mean, I think every day is different. Every day is a fresh day, and I think that's I take it as that. My record trading day was $24,000 in one day, I think, if I remember on Trader Stats. My record trade was 10,000 or 11,000 in one trade. And these are futures. These aren't options, right? Options I've done more than that, but that's futures. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be my kind of like my quick answer to you on that. Do you still trade with TBT, or which firm you trading? I haven't seen daily payouts recently. I do trade. Actually, I posted on Instagram. I took a 5K payout on Friday, actually. I do still use TPT. TPT is actually one I like to use a lot of, but because I treat it like it's a live account, I don't trade it as frequently. Like I will, don't get me wrong, like during this 50% off, I scooped up like 10 evals. So I've just been trading the evals because I'm just building up my funded accounts with them. But because I treat my TPT like my live accounts, I don't trade them all the time, because if I don't feel good about it, charts don't look as great as they can be, then I avoid it, right? So I just don't trade it at all. Do you train one-on-one? Yeah. So people ask me this a lot of the times, and again, like I said, I won't dive into too much of that right now. Although personally, for me, I'll put my Instagram there just so you can reach out to me via DM. I can teach my system, but I always say that I'm not looking to sell a class. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but for me, I rather spend time with the one-on-one. So whether it's because you want me to help you refine your strategy, or if it's because you want to learn my strategy and then have me coach you on that strategy, either way works, right? But I find that mentoring is far more valuable because, like, I think for a lot of us traders, there's a lot of free information on YouTube. Like, you're literally on the stream right now, learning for free. So there's a lot of strategies out there, but I find that what people struggle with the most is the ability to execute. And I think that just like going to the gym, having someone there reminding you of what to do, when to do it, is just, it's a lot more helpful than just saying, here you go, here are the dumbbells, go have at it, right? So my 2 cents on that. And Baljeet, you're absolutely killing it right now. Let's go. Let's go. Nice job, Baljeet. That's your 3rd win of the night already in the past hour. I don't use an indicator, Aloha, to auto mark Globex, but the FF indicator that I talk about does automatically mark Globex, Tokyo Opens, and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. I mean, one rank higher. I can totally understand your comment on intuition, and I don't disagree with that. When I speak to the comment of intuition, I speak about it on a more broader term of like what that represents, not just in trading but in life overall. That's often it's just your gut experience, but it's just your inability to articulate that experience, right? Um, so yeah, as long as you can decipher, and for you, that's great. Mass clutch, way to go, way to lock that in as well. Yeah, 100%, 100% agree with you, JTBG. Uh, I think Invisible Ninja. I'm not sure when you hopped on the stream, but the indicators you can actually see on the top left-hand corner there. I have my EMAs there as well as my VWAP. That's kind of essentially what I look for, and I run it in conjunction so that if I have areas on the chart that look good, and it just so happens to also be running and coinciding, then I'll take my chance with it. Yeah, Aloha trade. I know. Buljeet said the same thing. I think Buljeet and someone else said the same thing earlier too. It's a little discouraging, but you know what? I'll give you guys some my input on this. So I traded the My Fund of Futures competition back in March. Now, those who remember my old trade name, it was not always Azheng Trades. I had a different name before, and I just changed it because I didn't, in case of trademark issues. But when I traded in that competition, I ranked number 11 out of almost 5,000 traders. Um, and I can tell you right now, and that was a long time ago too. That wasn't even when I had established a solid part of my trading. That was I was still refining at that moment in time because I didn't launch my mentorship until like 3 months after that My Fund of Future competition, right? But with that said, though, my advice to you guys right now: whatever you see on that scoreboard, ignore it. Focus on you. Focus on you. Focus on your trade. Focus on the chart. I'll tell you right now that leaderboard does nothing good for you other than distract you from trading, right? Remember that comparison is the silent killer. A big reason why I made it to the 11th spot out of 5,000 traders was actually because I was patient and I was focusing on just me. And I'll tell you that because when I first started trading on that competition, I think I was like in like the top 100 at the time. And this was like first little bit in, right? And then I noticed that I was starting to like drop, right? I was dropping to like 120, whatever. I was still making money though, but for some odd reason, I was still dropping. Why? Because people were doing better, right? What was happening though was that all I needed to do was survive, right? And so during the competition, I would still go for my trades. I get my 1R, 2R, 3R. Some days I caught massive bangers, right? But I traded with a level of discipline, right? I focused on me. And it was the same thing as the Trade of 5 Cup was one mini, right? And next thing you know it, day by day, I was moving up the rank by 10. I was like 90, then 80, then 70, then 60. I wasn't even doing anything crazy. I was simply surviving. And so if there's anything that can teach you is that as of right now, as you're going through this competition, just focus on that, right? Like you'll be surprised. You guys might be able to still make that guy who's at 17,000. You don't know. He could blow his account tomorrow, right? Because you know what happens is that when they get too big of a buffer, they get very cocky, right? And so again, I don't know who the trader is on the other end. Maybe it's one of the more experienced trader, and if they are really that good, then it is what it is. Then they've earned the right to be there, right? But don't get distracted by that, guys. This is no different from prop firm rules, minimum trading days, consistency rules, all that stuff. Wipe it from your mind, guys. Distraction, noise, don't let it get to you, right? Focus on the trade. Just don't let that 17K guy discourage you guys, man. I'm telling you, that's how I made it to the number 11 spot at the time. Thanks, Amon. I appreciate it, man. I have never used order flow before, Invisible, so I can't really speak to that. Are we ranging again, guys? You see this? this non-fault. But you know, the beautiful thing is that the range is it's still a pretty nice wide range. Like you're able to capture a solid 30 points within these ranges. So if you're anyone's like trading this range right now, I mean, good probabilities there still. Yeah, 100% Daniel. Drew Wickles, it's true. It's true. We need some more, gang. We need some more. So far, all we've been doing, nothing has changed. Since we've started this stream, the gold trade, if you guys remember, like I said, if you were able to take the short off the 4553, then amazing. Or even the lower high at Globex. Either way, both of them would have fared well. You guys already know I'm bearish on gold right now. I have no interest in long gold, so I'm going to continue to keep my bear bias on that. But NQ, pretty much you're just trading the range. You're using VWAP in this channel here as your range, and you're using the bottom of this here as your range as well, or if you really want to be honest. There you go. You're just ranging back and forth at the moment, right? So nothing too exciting. Opportunities can still be taken, but yeah, if we sweep Tuesday's low, Stan, I think Stan, yeah, Stan, and we put in a nice, 15-minute or hourly bar, I think we could definitely long from there. Aussie trader, what's going on? Yeah, in terms of strategy wise, I kind of went through this earlier. I mean, so you technically could rewind the stream just to see that part of it, but yeah, I mean, for me, big on levels, right? Levels, reference points, opening prints, that type of geos, right? Market structure, trend, range. I do both. Bar by bar, very big on bar by bar. Can't even emphasize that enough, right? So it's kind of all of that. It's a lot, but yeah. So this is where, like, as you guys are saying, like, her ranging, right? Like, price actions got awful. You can trade this though. Like you just saw, like Bulji literally just said, like she's one of my students. She just literally took 3 winning trades while we've been talking, just trading the range. Yeah, Jonathan, I mean, if you're going to that, you're going to a whole new level of discussion on that one. But I hear your point, man. I hear your point. What's going on, Mr. Stocks? As far as trade goes right now, nothing here so far. Get some res, Valima. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Invisible. Oh, are we at 200 thumbs up now? Oh, yes, we are. All right, guys, I will, since we are here at this point, I will just leave it here. So what your guys gonna do, make sure you drop so thumbs up on stream. You gotta do that first. Make sure you don't forget that. And then you're gonna type in once I get the bot going. That is when you will enter. Not yet. The bot's not started yet, guys. There you go. Begins. Do you ever go 20 to 4? I saw that question up there. 20, 40 contracts. I don't think that's even possible. I don't think I could even do that on a prop account. I can't trade the Grand Cup. I know you probably just hopped in this stream. I'm capped out with them, so my account's just locked. I'm not allowed to trade with them. But if you guys are, though, best of luck. I'm rooting for you. We got about 3 minutes left until this giveaway is up. I'm just gonna scalp while you guys are doing this. I'm waiting for this anyway, so I may as well just scalp. Hopefully you guys walk away winner. One of you guys, lucky winners here. Two and a half minutes. 2.5 minutes, guys. Drop those thumbs up. And don't you worry, guys. I know some of you guys are worried that if you guys don't see a Streamlab ticket that you're not in, you are in. I can see all the names on my back end here. We might get follow through on these shorts. We're respecting the 9 EMA right now in the 5-minute time frame. Let's see if we can get follow through. We're also testing that channel here, that 2-minute. Putting in a fail to go higher on that channel right now. So shorts might actually get follow through. If we do, I will switch to another account for that though. We have about 40 seconds left of this giveaway. While we do that, I am going to switch accounts though. So give me a sec. All right, giveaway is done. You guys can stop spamming it now. We have a winner, Dank89. You are the winner of the giveaway. Dank89. If you are here, message me on Instagram, DM me please, and just show me your YouTube account, obviously, when you're DMing me so that I can see. Yeah, congrats, man. Nice job, nice job. Congrats, man. Way to rack up the dub. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Shoot me a DM there, man. It's looking like a gold. How we doing here? Still kind of chopping away. Oil starting to push and hold above VWAP. I don't trade YM, but it looks like we're double topping here on the 200 EMA. RTY looks like we're trying to push down. I like the 5-minute close on the NQ for bearish to continue. Breaking this low range here is important if we want follow through. Ron, my man, what are you doing up, bro? Ron, I think I need the I need to steal that banner file back from Jake. I don't know what happened to my my OBS. I can't load my files for some reason. I don't know if they're corrupt or whatever, maybe, but that's why I don't have a banner up top. So I'm going old school here. I got this here. Interesting. Oh, micros. that would make a little bit more sense because I was like, I'm like 40 minis, man. I'd have a heart attack. Thanks, Dank. I will respond after the stream, man. I'll respond after the stream. Serpent snaps. I mean, there's totally so many. It all comes down to how you trade, man. Like I think the most common agreement in the space is that you should be trading on the larger time frames, and for your periods of levels or whatever it may be, and then execute from there. Project Blue filter. The contest literally just finished, my friend. You just missed it. Duly noted, Soul Shift. Duly noted. Yeah, Ron, I'll have to figure out some time. That's the thing that's always tough too, because by the time that I even get to my stream, it's so late in the night. It's really just you and me. No problem, Dank. Still got a range here, guys. Come on, I really would think this lower high would give us the move down. If I'm squinting, guys, it's because my eyes are so dry. I've been awake for quite a while now. So, how are you guys doing tonight, man? What's good with you guys? What's good with you guys? Hey, Jake. What's poppin', Jake? You take any gold trades today yet? I know. You know what? I technically do. My kids move my stuff around a lot, so I don't know if they move my glasses. Yeah, like I do actually have glasses. I just don't know where they are. My kids keep moving my stuff around. Yeah, I have no idea where it is. They like to move my stuff around and then tell me that, oh, I found your stuff, Daddy. Yes. So Brian. Oh man. Bam! Just kidding. I know, I know. Kiddos, man. Hey, what up? What up, man? Yeah, it's a long weekend. I think it's only a long weekend in Canada, right? It's not a long weekend anywhere else, is it? I don't think so, anyways. Yeah, technically, it's my wife's birthday in like 35 minutes. Baby waiting on London. You live a lot. I'm assuming, are you asking if I'm on live a lot? Wacky, is that your question? Oh, it's a long weekend in America too. Okay, good to know. Yeah, that gold 4534 area, man, is banger. Oh, it's a long weekend in Germany too. Okay. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Thanks, Arnold. Yeah, I'm Wacky. If you're just in case it's your first time, Project 365, we're streaming all week long. Pretty much Ron and I usually kick off our Sundays, and we basically are between us and the 5 hosts in total. We stream 10 hours a day, all the way up until basically the end of the week on Friday. I have been with my wife for a very, very long time. I don't do too many surprises, to be perfectly honest. Um, I have this thing actually with her. We do still celebrate. We spend time, obviously, spending time with each other when you have kids are a little bit different. But I've always been big on like not just making the special days a special day, if that makes sense. I was the one weirdo actually when we were dating in our youth that I didn't really do much for Valentine's Day. I would like intentionally do things around Valentine's Day, except for that day. I don't know. I'm not big on Hallmark holidays either. That's a whole nother thing in itself. But that's a conversation for another day. But no, we just spend a lot of family time together, to be honest, right? Because we just don't get a lot of that, especially if we're both busy working away. So, what's your strategy called? I don't think I have a name for my strategy. Duchess of Darkness. Yeah, I don't really have a name for the strategy. Thanks, Hassan. Appreciate it, man. Mass. No, literally the weekend that just passed. Like the weekend that we're in right now, technically, was the long weekend for us. In the US, it's next week. There you go. See, Auto knew better than I did. Mm-mm-mm. We about what are we 30 minutes from the London Open? Ah, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I think that's a very long-winded question. If you're asking me why am I going short on this one specifically, so I mean we've had a very big move to the downside, and essentially for myself, I'm just looking for us to have some follow through. And if I were to visually draw right now, I mean you can call this kind of like a bear flag. I'm just gonna like just draw this out here just for the visual aid of it all, right? It's not exactly the cleanest one. But we've also been holding beneath the VWAP, the channel that I had pre-drawn already, 200 EMA. And this is kind of example of where like when things kind of come together, I'm just like looking for that additional fall through. We're setting up lower highs as well, right? And so for me, I'm just like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the move, right? We would have been able to pretty much trade the range this entire time, which again, my student Boljeet has taken 3 trades already, just ranging back and forth for 30 points, which if you think about it in total, that's 90 points already over the course of an hour. So really solid to her on catching those, right? But yeah, for me right now, I am just kind of looking to see if we can actually get some follow through on this move down now, as especially as we're heading into the London Open here in the next half an hour. Jake, are you in NQ shorts as well, or are you in gold shorts? Oil. I don't trade oil at all, man. I don't know what to make of this. I look at this and think like, okay, well, we're holding VWAP. It looks like we want to push, but we're also coming up to this consolidated range, right? Like we were ranging here for a while. So it's like, I don't know, man. Do we get walled here? Do we get stonewalled? That's kind of like where my head's at right now. Ron G's all about them oil. No problem, Duchess. No problem. Dig the name, by the way. NQ shorts as well, huh? Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, did you? Killer, Ron. Of course you did. Ron's an animal like that. Catching them blongs, those big ass moves. Yeah, Jake, I mean, I was able to short the double top lower high on the NQ off the open today. That was a solid trade. I didn't hold it for the whole move, obviously, but caught a good decent chunk of it though, so no complaints here. 44 X Punisher, what's going on? Good morning. So right now we've had 30 points already. Like if you were shooting for a 1R trade, 1R is done already. We got 1R locked in. Just like that, right there. And that would have been safe. That would have been a safe exit, to be honest. I'm just shooting for more. Nice, Bernatti. Let's go. Congrats, man. Congrats. Yeah, I hope we get some follow through here. I don't want it to like jerk back up again, but who knows, man? Who knows? That's why sometimes, like in these kind of like ranging markets, right? Like, or not, I shouldn't say ranging markets, but this period of time where we are kind of ranging, that's the reason why I do like taking 1R trades in these conditions, because like you gotta know your setups, right? Like usually if I'm trading like Tokyo Open or something like that, then like 2R, 3R, no problem at all, right? But when you're trading these kind of periods in time, like that consolidation, nothing wrong with taking 1R. And this is where like it's again, everyone different strides of different strokes. It's up to you what makes sense to you, but I don't want to sound like I'm a broken tape recorder here, but like you just saw Baljeet. She took 3 basically 1R trades, give or take, back to back. And so she's up 90 points, right? And so, I mean, if you think about it, if you can recognize whether you're arranging or trending and you can capitalize on either of those, who's to complain, right? If it works, it works. So just my 2 cents on the matter. So we could have had 1R in this trade, but I am looking for 2R, hence where my target. New to train. What broker is this? Trade of 8. Trade of 8 synced up with TradingView. And this is a prop account. Yeah, a little push in volume there, Venati. Yeah, we could still. Daniel, you may have missed it. I was saying that earlier that we were starting to slowly break down here and we were setting in lower highs. So I was hoping for us to have like a follow through in the lower highs. Why I shorted here. Thoughts on prop from haters? To each their own, man. I mean, I think everyone finds success in their own ways, right? So if they don't like to trade props, they want to trade their own money. Power to you, man. Power to you. I, Peter, I literally just made that comment on there. I just answered that. Looking for a lower high continuation. You're right. I could have just taken my profit for 1R. It's all good. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not always big, to be honest. I actually prefer the hour after London opens. Like for me, that's 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I prefer that hour actually more than the initial hour that opens. And I won't be sticking around that much longer today just because it is my wife's birthday and like at London Open. So I don't want to be stuck on a screen. I'd rather just go wish her happy birthday instead. Um, yeah. Come on, NQ. Don't toy with me like this. Just respect this damn lower high and give it to me. Give me my TP. Kids wise, they're doing much better. They're pretty much over it. Same with my wife now. They've been on antibiotics, which is not ideal. Antibiotics are not good for people's immune system, so we were trying to avoid it, but it got so bad we couldn't really. But my mom just got discharged from the hospital as well. She had pneumonia, so yeah, man. Everyone around me got like hit by a freaking freight train. So I had to take care of everyone obviously while still managing my day to day. So Brian, I have no idea what that is. Jam NQ, assuming you just probably hopped onto the stream. Lower high. I should probably just like literally note it here why I took this because I know people keep asking as they're kind of hopping on here, right? a second here. Those are the reasons. And yeah, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. As I said earlier, I could have taken it for 1R to be honest, but I wanted to because I was really hoping for some follow through, but apparently I'm not going to get it at this point. Hey, all good, man, all good. But yeah, I was really hoping to kind of play into this, man. Like, with the way that we were starting to weaken off as we hit VWAP and 200 EMA and channel, I was really looking for some follow through here. So we see. I'm gonna say, you know what, right now, you know what I'll do, just because we're like, I want to make sure I kind of share this with the gang. So hopefully this adds value to you guys, gang. I'm gonna share this with you guys. This is I talked a little bit about this before, but I know one of the most common questions that I'm constantly being asked right now is like the journaling. Why is that important to me? Why do I keep talking about it? Look, man, like I think that both in business and in trading, if I didn't have this type of thought process, I would not be the person that I am today and the confidence that I have in what I do as well. So I'm just going to set some alerts, and I hope you guys are okay with that because I do really want to share with you guys. I guess let me know. I'm just drop it in the chat, guys. Do you guys want me to stay on my chart and just show you this trade and we just keep chatting questions, or would you like me to go over some of the journaling stuff and trader stat stuff? I'll leave it to the chat. You guys tell me what you want me to do. Letting you guys decide. I'm just saying because I can't really share both screen at the same time. That's why I'm asking this. Well, I could, but it's just not going to look clean. It's going to be very conjumbled. So you guys tell me. You guys want me to just stay on this screen here and we could just watch the trade and we could just chat and answer questions? Or do you want me to switch over to my trader stats and go over journaling and what have you? You guys tell me. I currently use trader stats, but to be perfectly honest, you can use anything, man. Whatever works for you. Sounds good. Sounds good. The people have spoken. Yeah, so there's some trading platforms or journaling platforms where you can sync it up. And there are some that you just import it manually. But either way, yeah, you're just basically taking information from your broker and porting it over. Yeah, look at that. This is that range spot that I mentioned on oil area, right? Could just be a little minor pullback before it keeps going though, but gold is still holding beneath this area. Might get taken out here, man. If we keep pushing up like this. You really helped me a lot during past couple weeks, man. Appreciate it. I will be traveling back to China for the next month or two. Can't tune into the stream. Hope to see you when I get back. Hey, Arl. Awesome, man. Are you going to vacation, or is that why you're going there for? You got work or something? Is there any free journaling app? I don't know. I've never actually looked into that. To be honest, man, like if you're not looking to spend money, there's nothing wrong with just using like Excel or something like that, or Word doc, right? I mean, I was using that stuff well before I even realized there was such thing as a trading journal. Cool. Otto, I've never really asked you. I guess is it safe to assume you're Chinese then, since you're going back to China? And whereabouts in China are you going to, man? Yeah, so Brian, I mean everything, man. Everything that contributes to a trade, your psychology, your technical read, market conditions, market news, everything and anything. Especially if it's your trading style. Like if you're like, for example, I always reference orb because like almost everyone knows what the orb strategy is because it's like there's probably 1,000 different traders talking about how they trade the orb on YouTube. That would be an example of if you're an orb trader, then I would like to imagine that in your journaling notes you'd be very meticulous about why you took the orb trade and why you expected the orb trade to work out in the way that it did, and so on and so forth, right? Did you ever overtrade in the start? If yes, how did you get over it? Yeah, man, Sagar. I think that's like a common thing. I think we all overtrade. I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I 100% overtraded back in the day. A part of it sometimes it's just learning though. If you overtrade, but you're learning from the overtrading, I think there's still value in doing so. You definitely don't want to build a habit of it because unless you're a scalper, overtrading doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. A big part of everything when it comes to like success and confidence is understanding your expected value as a trader. So it's just kind of knowing when trade theses work out for you and what they don't, and that just requires a lot of reps in the market, right? So yeah, to what Project Blue Filter said, I can agree to that. 25, 50K, that's kind of it. I mean, otherwise I jump straight to the 150Ks usually if I want the drawdown. Hassan, I've never tried the orb on Globex, so I can't speak to that. I've never back tested it myself, but I think some people do though. Okay, I got you. I got you. Thoughts on base hitting? What would be your 1R amount? I don't base it off of dollar all too much. I like to risk 15 to 30 points. So if I'm going for that, then I go for that here. That's why I made the comment that I made here, right? Like technically speaking, like if I really, really wanted to, you could have taken like 30 points. Could have easily taken 30 points on that trade. Um, but I didn't take 30 points, so looks like I'm gonna get stopped out here though, based on the way this is moving, the way that we reacted there as well. So John White, what's the cake of the day? I'm actually gonna post that on Instagram later. It was a early birthday cake with the family and stuff like that today for my wife. We did like an oolong milk tea kind of cake. What about overtrading purposes to gather data? Is that advisable or a waste of time? I think you may have texted that literally after I made the comment, but I 100% would agree. Again, you could do it on paper trading. You could do it on an eval. It's completely up to you. I've done it on both, right? I think it's worth it. What size do I use on 150K? 1 to 3 minis. Hey Renee, what's going on? Did you ever had a trade so good that you asked the stock of futures? Oh, you're too funny, Jello. No, no, no. I don't. You know what? I think the only trade that I ever took where I actually felt like, oh my goodness, like that was an amazing trade, was one that I had held for like 400 points, which was a very big trade for me, and I held that pretty much from like Tokyo Open all the way until the next day. Um, Cop maps. I'm using one account at a time. Yes, you're correct. I don't copy trade. So whenever I am taking it, I am taking it one at a time. Which is why I'm kind of like, it's okay, not too bad. Like I don't mind does it suck to take losses? But yeah, it does. But that's kind of part of the game, and also kind of understanding like your expectation on it on the given trade, right? Like I've been saying this a lot because I know that some of you guys are kind of just tuning in and rolling in later on. But I've said it, right. If you just kept trading the range today, you could have caught some really good wins. Today could have been that day for me to just do that, right? Take the 1 hour trades over and over and over again. Since right now, London's about to open right now, and I don't trust this breakout anyways. I hope you guys don't mind. I will pivot over to the dashboard here, just because I know that's something that you guys want to kind of connect on. So I'm going to hop on over here in just a bit. Oh, wow. Why does it look so small? Hold on. Let me fix this a little bit here. I don't know why it's showing up like that. Give me a second, gang. I want to make sure this shows a little bit more properly for you guys. There you go. That's a little bit better. So this is the stats. And so I want to go over this a little bit. I'm not going to go through all of the stats. It's not completely relevant. But the reason why I like to do this right now is because it does help me understand, and it should help you guys also understand where your confidence lies. Like when you're looking at your stats, that should essentially tell you not just about the win rate, but where do you feel you're excelling the most? You know, there are some areas that you're gonna feel like you're doing extremely well at, some areas that are not. And I think deciphering that information is a thing in itself. What I will want to say though is I do want to touch on some of this stuff here, right? So this is where for this month, for example, right? I'm going to talk about a little bit of the information. There's a lot to be had here, right? Best day, worst day, average winning trade, average losing trade, all that type of stuff, right? How many long trades did I take? How many short trades did I take? Now, as I'm going through this right now, notice something here. My worst time of the day, unfortunately, is actually the stream period. It is the worst. And I'm okay with that, right? I think that that's just acknowledging why that could be. Some of it is kind of tailored to the fact that, you know what, it is a session that I don't normally trade all too much. And usually in this case, unless you're willing to trade the range, you're not always going to necessarily get follow through. But this is also a little bit skewed because it's also saying the best time of my day this month was 11 a.m. But the reason why it's saying that though is because I've had a few good trades around that period. And because the wins on those trades were bigger too, it's taking precedent. But if I look at my old stats, that's not always the case, right? And then also it can actually break it down to how long you hold certain trades for, right? Where like you can see here, you know, most of my trades I hold for 10, 30 minutes, some even for an hour. I even had one that I held for over 4 hours, right? And so those are little things that kind of play a role in the stats that we kind of look at. Something that I'll also mention as well is just the average time per trade. Like it says 17 minutes right now, but if you guys saw my trader stats from last month, I actually had it for only basically around 9 minutes. And the reason why I had this is if you guys remember, it's because I had 3 days where I had scalped like crazy. Because one of the things I was trying to do is I was trying to learn a type of scalping strategy because I was going to be working with a student and I want to make sure I understood it fully before I worked with them. But I took like 300 trades over 3 days. So that obviously affected my average time hold. For those who know me, know I don't scalp all the time. Look, in March, I had an average of 17 minutes. In February, 31 minutes. In January, 36 minutes. So you can already tell naturally I don't scalp. Like that's just not a thing I always do. And although you guys see me do a lot of 1 hour trades, it's because the stream period is just it's just kind of what I got to work with. As you can even see earlier, had I just taken 1 hour, I would have been able to win the trade. But because I shot for 2 hour, I took it out on it, right? So it's just kind of part of the game when you're looking at your stats, and that's why like when I take my losses, I'm not overly surprised by it when I take those losses, right? Anyways, with that said, we'll talk about this month. So as you can see here, I've had quite a few trades here and there, right? And this is as up to date without obviously the Globex session from today. which I will update later on. But I've had one losing day, and every other day has been winning. Now, with that said, though, with a 70 some percent win rate, that obviously means I've taken more than one loss, right? Like I'm losing 25 to 30% of the time. However, just looking at that though, it helps me understand, and that's the reason where my confidence comes from. It's why when I lose, I don't get overly like absurd about it. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. And so I want to just touch on this, for example. So I mentioned I said I took a trade here, and this was like a two trade. I took the short off of gold after our stream on Thursday night, which kind of goes into Friday, which is why it's showing up on Friday. And then I also shorted the NQ just hours before power hour, and that's what made up this day. Two trades made up this, right? And so if I were to take a look at this right now, this is the gold short trade that I talked about. I took one mini and I shorted this, and I posted this on the Discord as well, right? I basically took my trade entry, moved my profit to 1R when I was going to take a shower, and then literally as soon as I got out of the shower, I realized that I had hit my target already, right? And that was my first trade. The other trade that I took was this one, and this was the NQ trade that I took. And this was also that short trade that I mentioned earlier when I did my trade review earlier on the stream. I took the lower high short trade with 3 minis to the downside, and I capitalized on that $3,600 trade. And all of this is essentially what accumulated to the payout that I took on Friday. If you followed me on Instagram, you would have already seen that I had posted that I had withdrawn just a little under $5,000 in my payout, right? And so if I were to take a look at the notes, for example, and this is a very high level, I don't take as crazy notes as I once did before, just because I'm quite a little bit over that at this point in my time. But just to give you an example, right? Like I marked this, right? May 15th, I had a gold trade, London session, I had multi-time frame analysis, daily consolidation breakdown. Some of these notes you should not be surprised at because I actually talked about this on stream. Market structure, lower high continuation, Asian to London fall through, breaking out of the range, bar by bar. MTFA was all looking good. It was a bear flag pattern. We were beneath the VWAP, 5-minute trigger line on the FF indicator. It was within my risk. I had mentioned the fact in the journal notes that I moved my trade to 1R and allowed the thing to move, anticipating that it could pull back on me at my AOI, which we didn't. We followed through and hit my PT. And I even took screenshots down beneath showing exactly where I took the entry with my levels and my AOI, while also having the visual image of the 5-minute trigger line that I was referring to up above here in the trade itself and how it respected that. And so this is just giving you an example of how I tied like my price to action bar by bar, high reach structure, levels, risk, yada, 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 while also leveraging EMAs and all those other things for extra conviction, right? So anyways, that's just kind of like a quick high level overview though. And I'm hoping that that kind of gives you a little bit of sense of just an example of what I do. And I have done this, no joke, no exaggeration. Students who work with me know it. I'm a little bit of a maniac, but all the 3,000 to 4,000 some trades I've taken on futures since I've started trading futures, I have journaled all of them. And they were far more detailed in the early days because I was really trying to figure my stuff out. I'm a little bit more, I'll just say lazy now in comparison to before, because for the most part, I understand what it is I'm trying to do now. But anyways, I do still take occasional notes here and there like that, just so that I can at least converse with my students when I'm working with them, so they can also kind of understand. Because obviously, I'm not going to remember every single trade that I take, but at least I can go back to it and take a look at it, right? So, anyways, I feel like I'm rambling now, but hopefully that added a little bit of value to the gang. I haven't done that before on any of the streams. So if you need to rewatch the stream, you can absolutely do that. But anyways, if things like this again, if you find them valuable, like regardless of giveaways, man, drop a thumbs up, man. It means a lot to me. It helps me understand how much you value this type of stuff, right? So just catching up with the chat here. Holding for your 150. I hope you get it, man. I hope you get it. What's your RR risk on your win rate? I think it said it earlier, but it depends, right? So I always say that 1 to 2R is very common for me. And then the other times I'll shoot for 3 to 5R, but that's like 10% of the time. And it really depends, again, what the market's offering me and how I decide that. Yeah, I'm on PST, Duchess. Just remember, Rasta Pasta, those are P&Ls. Those aren't payouts, right? Although payouts have been exceptional for me as well. I just want to make sure I add that, not as a disclaimer, but I'm clear on the fact that that is my P&L, not payout. Payout, although has still been a solid year overall. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been a really solid year. And for those who follow on Instagram, well, you already know that because I've talked about this before, and I've also shared it before. But yeah, this, that. I should stop what I made eventually. Now try to get my second payout. Yeah, cops. I mean, cop maps, man. If there's a setup, take it. If there's not, then just it is what it is. You gotta move on, man. You gotta move on. Don't force a trade just cause. Do I prefer the 2-minute time frame? 2-minute time frame is just one of the time frames that I look at when I'm trading. It is not the be all end all time frame. I've been consistent since year one, but I don't count that because I honestly I think I just got lucky, all things considered, or maybe just the style of trading back then was very different because I was trading small caps. My consistency really started in 20 and at the tail end of 2023, and pretty much up from then until now. So I had a really solid options year in 2024. And I had a really solid prop year in 2025. If you follow me on YouTube, you would have already seen that year-end recap that I had posted before, touching on my options and my futures for last year. And I'll just post it again there for any of the new viewers that are hopping on there. You can kind of dig into my archives because I don't produce much information or content there as much as I used to, but it is there for available for you. Let's see. Tricky, man. Market's opening in 3 minutes. You guys got any last minute questions for me? Like I said, I won't be hanging around as I usually do today just because it is my wife's birthday soon. So I want to make sure I prioritize that. Rangy, man. Range is the game right now. I have the 20 EMA. I don't use it all the time though. I mainly reference the 20 EMA for the purpose of for EMA crosses. Just switching my account right now, actually, so I don't overuse this account. Give me a second, gang. Apologies for flipping away, but I don't want to accidentally trade on this account more than 2 times. Yeah, that would be beautiful. That would be a beautiful short. It's kind of hard right now to be. Like, this is where like I'm a little bit torn. This is going to be closing a pretty strong hourly and 15-minute bar candle as we're breaking above. Like, I feel like we're going to get a push up. I don't disagree. Whoever it was that said they wanted 150, I don't blame you for wanting 150. Like, it looks good for it. It might spike to 150 and come back beneath Globex maybe, but all speculative thought at this point. Duchess, I do stream this time all the time. So this is my pre-London. The pre-London session is my stream. So feel free to hop on here, man. Some days, hopefully you'll be able to get some good price action. We'll take some good trades together. Wacky, I don't know if you maybe heard me say it earlier, but I have a rule for myself. I don't take more than 2 trades on any given account. I move on to the next one. That's how I keep my mentals in check. Anywho, so I'll leave you guys with this, guys. Before, as we're heading into this, right? what I want you guys to kind of pay attention to at this point in time is that whether or not we are going to trade within these ranges going into the New York session, and even if we open in New York tomorrow, I wouldn't be super, super bearish out of the gates, to be honest, right? Like, are we going to experience some pullbacks? Sure, absolutely. But I'm still bullish on NQ. So that's where like I'm not gonna like just short every single time I see something here. Um, on gold, this is the one I'm probably gonna be a little bit more bearish on. I would be looking for shorts on this. So you guys have these spots. You've seen me talk about it. You've heard me go through the reviews. Hopefully it adds a little bit of thought process for you guys in terms of where we're going to go. Like I said, I'm bearish on GC. So maybe we'll see if we come test the high of day here, especially as we're getting this London push. I like to usually wait for an hour before I trade the London. I'm probably not going to trade that tonight though, but that's just my 2 cents on the matter, right? But yeah, bearish on gold, bullish on NQ. Doesn't mean we can't short the NQ. I'm just saying overarchingly, I am bullish on NQ. So I think just kind of trying to find the right opportunity. I mean, we swept this area. I don't know if we're going to sweep any lower than this. This might be it for us. And we might go higher, but I'd still watch. I mean, right now, we're still beneath Globex, and we are still technically haven't broken 29,278. At if any given point, if we break back above 278, have a break and retest for longs, I'd be very much interested in those longs. But until then, hard to say. Hard to say. But anyways, I am gonna go spend some time with the wife. It's her birthday now officially. So best of luck, gang. Best of luck. I will be on stream for the rest of the week as usual at this time, 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time, or 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Time. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you guys tomorrow.